Can you believe this amazing bang shot happened 8 years ago? Yes, this is when Steph Curry did hit the 38-footer against Oklahoma City Thunder to take home the win. If you guys remember this play and all the numerous plays that Steph Curry has had at the buzzer, all you guys have to do is comment down below, say bang to show him some love. We're going to talk about Klay Thompson's new role on the Golden State Warriors on today's show. I am your host, Allie Barefoot. In the back half, we're actually going to talk about what Klay Thompson and Chris Paul could look like in the backcourt off the bench for the Golden State Warriors. It sounds like a crazy sentence to even put those two in the same realm of becoming off the bench, but overall, I've loved how Klay Thompson has played over the last 4 games instead of being in a starting role. Because if you look at what the numbers he's put up, 18.5 points per game, 2 rebounds per game, which is okay. That's never really been Klay's MO. 40% from the field and 38% from the three-point line. I don't know if it's pressure taken off his plate. I don't know if it's less minutes being handed to him, but Klay Thompson off the bench looks very natural right now, as he seems to have been forcing himself to become the Klay Thompson of 2019 while he was in the starting lineup for the first half of the season. So the fact that Klay Thompson has not only popped off coming off the bench, but he's embraced the 6th-man role, especially after a report came out that said Klay Thompson was going to explore the free agency market in the offseason because his contract will end after the regular season. And there did come out from Shams Charania saying the top 5 teams who could go out and get Klay Thompson does include both of the Florida teams, both of the California teams, and maybe even the Boston Celtics. So while the market may still be hot for Klay Thompson, he did have some reassuring quotes to give Dub Nation as he said, look, I would love to come back and be a Warrior for life. He said, look, when it comes to free agency, you still got to examine all of your options, but I would love to be a Warrior for life. Whatever happens, though, I've got a few more years to play this game, so I'm going to enjoy every second. And I've loved the way that Klay Thompson has played these last 4 games. He said, look, I might not make it to 40. That sounds exhausting. I can only imagine. But the Golden State Warriors are starting to look like how they have the past decade, considering the fact that they're 10th right now in the Western Conference, but they're actually just 4 games behind the number 6 seed, which is the New Orleans Pelicans. The number one thing that really matters to me, though, is that Klay Thompson has shown a lot more positive emotion since coming off the bench. I know you guys have seen him throughout the first half of the season. He'd be on the bench, have his towel over his head, and he'd be pissed off because he's not playing. Meanwhile, the Warriors are losing, and all Klay Thompson cared about was his playing time. But now, Kevon Looney, Steph Curry, Chris Paul, they're all coming out saying, look, Klay is thriving off the bench. He's being a leader again. He's being positive again. He understands he's been through numerous injuries, and he's not going to be the player that he was, but this can be the new version of Klay Thompson. So with free agency looming, he's now developed this new role, especially since he wants to retire a Warrior, but they haven't offered him anything just yet. So that's my question for you guys first and foremost. Should the Warriors re-sign Klay Thompson now to come off the bench? Before the season started, they offer him a 2-year, $48 million deal, which he declined. But now they're not looking at him to be a starter for the next coming years. They're looking at him to be a role player. Go ahead and comment Y for yes, type N for no. While you guys are doing that, let me go ahead and preview what we're going to be talking about. Klay Thompson had some great things to say about Chris Paul and vice versa. And we're going to talk about an amazing backcourt duo of 2 former NBA All-Stars. While you guys are going to get ready for that, all I have to tell you is Prize Picks, the number 1 daily fantasy sports app in America right now, and it is officially hoop season through and through. MLB hasn't started yet. NHL is going on, but I'm focused on the hoop season right now, and here's why you guys should be too. So when you get to Prize Picks, all you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. But what's even better about Prize Picks is that they're not biased at all in terms of how you make your picks. If you want to combine NBA and college basketball and NHL picks, you absolutely can do that, especially since it's tournament time for college basketball. I'm not a huge college basketball fan, but I know producer Smitty absolutely lives for it. But I'm more of an NBA girly, so I did just go with 2 picks for tonight's game. I have Draymond Green to have more than 6 assists tonight. I want to see what he can do against the Washington Wizards. And I do have a demon for Jaylen Brown, who's been hot these last few games, to have more than 2.5 3-pointers made. These are my prize picks. You guys can go ahead and make yours at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100, and you get to watch yourself win some real money in real time. We are going to be adding Chris Paul back to the backcourt tonight versus the Washington Wizards. Steve Kerr came out and said there is 0 minutes restricted on Chris Paul tonight. He could end up playing damn near half of the ball game if that's how he sees fit. So Chris Paul is back, but what's even better is that Chris Paul has been leading the second rotation for the Warriors before he got hurt, but he didn't have Klay Thompson in that second rotation. Plus, the Warriors went 12-9 without Chris Paul, as he was out for 21 games. I know losing 9 games is still a lot, but winning 12 was big for the Warriors. And Klay Thompson had nothing short of good things to say about Chris Paul's return. He said, look, I'm just excited for Chris to be himself, and that's one of the greatest playmakers, pesty defenders, in just to right the ship when Steph needs a break. It's very exciting. I'm excited to step on the floor with him and lead that second unit. I mean, you can't really ask for a better backcourt to come off the bench with, so it's very exciting. And you truly cannot. Did I ever assume Klay Thompson would come off the bench? Absolutely not. But I understand Father Time does have a pretty good sense of humor. The 2 veterans, though, are producing some of the best offensive ratings for 2 players in the Golden State Warriors together who are averaging more than 500 minutes throughout the season. They have been dominant when they are a 1-2 punch. And the fact they now get to lead some younger guys in order to provide that veteran presence, you got to remember, the Orlando Magic called the Golden State Warriors for the NBA trade deadline because they're looking for a veteran like Chris Paul. Well, the Golden State still have him. So why not use him at his full peak to be able to mentor Lester on the court, Trace Jackson-Davis, provide Dario with some strength in that second unit? Because when you look at that team, it looks a little crazy, I'm not going to lie, combining those rookies and those veterans. But when you have a second unit like this, you've got good screening by Trace Jackson-Davis. You've got good size by Trace Jackson-Davis and Dario. And you've got some front court shooting along with that. When you add on Klay Thompson's 3-ball to that mix on top of the Warriors' leading assist person, Chris Paul, I mean, it's going to be a lethal second unit. But this is just one rotation they can work with. They can obviously trade out Lester for Andrew Wiggins. They can put any players they want to in there. But I want you guys to be Steve Kerr for just a few seconds. Name your favorite Warriors second rotation lineup. Do you like Chris Paul and Klay Thompson? Give me guard through center. Let me know down below in the comments. And while you guys are there, just go ahead and hit that sub button. All you guys ever have to do to be completely in the know with everything Golden State Warriors is come to Warriors Today by Chat Sports and hit that sub button for me.